to my bedroom. When I came to class the next day, my classmates weren't acting very friendly. I quickly realized that Archie was their leader. He had his own group of friends, and they immediately began to make fun of me. Luckily, the bell rang and they left me alone. However, they kept bothering me for the rest of the day. John is so cute, he looks like a girl. That's because I am a girl. Archie's friends were making me really mad. I didn't want to attract too much attention, so I had to ignore them. However, during the last class, I almost got busted. It was a geography class, and Vicky was the one teaching it. She turned out to be gorgeous. All the boys were staring at her like that, even my Archie. It made me so angry I almost caused a scene, but I managed to get a grip on myself. After school, I went to the gym. I found the school's coach there and said that I wanted to join the basketball team. He immediately said that I wasn't tall enough. My height was fine for the women's team, but for the men's one, I asked for a chance to prove myself. The coach agreed, although he definitely wasn't expecting anything special from me. Imagine his surprise when I started scoring. I was doing great, and soon the coach forgot all about my height. But then Archie and his friends walked in. He suggested that I shoot the ball from a very long distance. It wasn't easy, but I didn't doubt my skills. I would have succeeded, but when I jumped up, my wig almost fell off my head. I got distracted and missed. Archie and his friends laughed, and I got very upset. I'd never seen Archie act like that before. He had always been kind and nice to me, but the coach was impressed by me and accepted me into the team anyway. Late in the evening, I went to take a shower. I decided to do it late at night so that I wouldn't meet anyone. I finally took off the wig and washed my hair. However, while I was drying it, someone suddenly walked into the bathroom. I barely had the time to grab my clothes with the wig and run back into the stall. "John, are you there?" I recognized Archie by his voice. I had to quickly change my clothes right in the stall and put the wig on my wet hair. Archie was very surprised when I came out wearing clothes, but he didn't ask me any questions and suddenly apologized for his behavior earlier that day. He said he wanted to show me something and asked me to go with him. We walked through the dark corridors of the dormitory, and to be honest, it was a little creepy. Soon we found ourselves near an ajar door, and Archie suggested I walk in. I felt suspicious, but still looked inside. All of a sudden, Archie pushed me in the back, and I stumbled into a small empty room. And then he slammed the door shut, and I found myself in complete darkness. I immediately demanded to be let out, but he probably couldn't hear me in the corridor. The walls were very thick there. I was shaking from the fear and cold. I hugged myself and almost burst out crying. I'd been so stupid to trust him. Time passed and no one came to let me out. Archie and his friends had probably decided to keep me there until morning. What if they didn't let me out at all? No, that was nonsense. They couldn't just leave me there. Soon I pulled myself together. Just standing still was pointless, and I decided to look for another way out. What if there was another door in the room? If only I'd known which door I could find. I couldn't see what was in front of me. I touched the walls, but my fingers only met cold bricks and cement. I was about to give up when I suddenly managed to press one strip of cement into the wall. Before I knew it, part of the brick wall had already moved to the side with a scraping noise. My eyes had already gotten used to the darkness a little, and I saw a passage in front of me. Wow, the principal had said that the dormitory was very old. It used to be a count's mansion. After all, had I found an old secret passage? It was crazy. I hesitated for a bit, but decided to check it out in the end. I had to feel my way along the walls. Sand rained down on me, nasty sticky cobwebs got in my face. After a while, I found myself outside the dorm. I was no longer afraid, and I wanted to find out how the mechanism in the wall worked from the other side. I came back through the passage to the wall and started touching it again. I got lucky and found the right strip of cement in just a few minutes. Now, I knew how to open and close the passage. I just had to figure out how to get back into the dorm. After all, the door was still locked. I walked along the fence and suddenly noticed that two bars in it were slightly bent. A boy probably wouldn't have been able to get in through them, but I did it. I took another shower, washed off the dust and cobwebs, and tiptoed into my bedroom. In the morning, both Archie and his whole gang were absolutely shocked. They didn't understand how I'd managed to get out of that locked room. I could have reported them to the principal, but I had a better idea. I waited until Archie came up to me and asked me how I managed to get free. "I'll tell you if you stop bullying me and let me hang out with you." Okay. We actually test all the new guys with that room. You haven't ratted us out to the teachers or the principal. You passed the test. When I told the boys about the secret passage, they didn't believe me at first. But after classes, they saw everything with their own eyes and were over the moon. From that moment on, my life at the boarding school changed dramatically. We became friends and often went to the city. Of course, we used the secret passage for that. It was very cool and I liked taking risks. We went to bars, walked around the city, and ate a ton of unhealthy fast food. One day, one of the boys even brought his PlayStation to the dorm. At night, we had parties, ate junk food, and played video games. One day, rumors about it had reached the principal. He searched the dorm, but we had hidden all the forbidden stuff in the secret passage. Neither the principal nor the teachers could understand how forbidden things kept appearing inside the school. After all, we were always searched at the entrance. Of course, I didn't forget about basketball and practiced hard. I was also constantly watching Archie and Vicky. One day, I noticed him picking flowers in the yard and giving them to this teacher. I was furious, and the worst part was that he texted me every night and said he missed me. One day, I was in the living room when Archie came in. He sat down next to me and suddenly told me about his problems. I really like Vicky. I know she's older than me, but I can't help myself. I think I fell in love with her after all, but I have a girlfriend, Joanna. She is very nice, and I don't know how to tell her about it. I don't want to hurt her. I clenched my fists. I wanted to tell that traitor everything I thought about him. John, you're a good guy. What do you think I should do? Want some advice? Then don't be a coward and tell Joanna everything as it is. I tossed and turned all night and constantly checked my phone. I was hoping Archie would tell me everything, but he only texted me, "Night." I was very upset and decided to take revenge on him. I would make sure he never saw his precious Vicky again. Of course, what I had in mind was absolute madness. You won't approve. But I was so upset, I didn't really think it through. I sneaked into the geography classroom and left a few bags of fast food and video games there. Then I went to the principal and told him that I had seen Vicky handing out video game CDs and fast food to everyone. I followed her and saw her use a secret passage to leave the school territory. I brought the principal to the wall and showed him how it worked. Then he came to the geography classroom with Vicky and found everything I'd planted there. Vicky tried to explain that she was innocent, but she was fired anyway. I saw how upset the boys were and felt some sort of vindictive joy. In the evening, I sat in my bedroom, psyching myself up for the upcoming competition. The door to my room was suddenly slammed open. It was Archie, and he looked furious. I finally realized why your face looks familiar to me. We've really met before. We've even dated. He quickly came up to me and tore the wig off my head. I flinched back. Did you transfer here to watch me or to get on the basketball team? Probably both, but it doesn't matter. You know what sucks the most? You framed Vicky even though she hasn't done anything wrong. I know that it was your doing. Don't even try to deny it. I wasn't going to deny anything anyway. Yes, I did a bad thing, but it was all Archie's fault. You framed Vicky and I'll frame you. He grabbed me by the arm and started pulling me along. We went to find the coach in the gym. Archie told him I was a girl. The coach was stunned and didn't even believe us at first. And when he did, he grabbed his head. The competition is tomorrow and we have no one to replace John with. I was sure I was going to get kicked out of the team with disgrace, but I was wrong. The coach let me use my disguise as John to take part in the competition. He also told Archie that if he told the truth to anyone, he would put the whole team at risk. Archie had to keep quiet even though he was still angry, and I felt a huge relief and was very happy. On the day of the competition, I was very nervous, but as soon as we started playing, I immediately calmed down. Our team kept winning and I felt more confident by the minute. As a result, our team and Courtney's team got to the finale. It was exactly what I wanted. At one point, Courtney and I collided in a fight for the ball. We were standing face to face and she suddenly stopped. Courtney asked for a timeout and loudly announced that our team was cheating. There's a girl in their team. She suddenly tore the wig off my head. I even had a sense of deja vu. Archie had done the same not long ago. The audience murmured in surprise and the officials began to discuss how to proceed. I was very worried and afraid that the victory would be given to Courtney's team. I felt very ashamed of myself because I had let everyone down. The boys had tried so hard that they could have won for sure if it hadn't been for my lies. It was a stupid idea after all. But then the officials announced their decision and I couldn't believe my ears. They said that formally no rules had been violated. Both girls and boys were allowed to take part in the competition. There was no rule saying that there could be only girls or only boys in a team. Long story short, I was allowed to keep playing. And I did. Oh, you should have seen me. I was fast as a bullet. Our teams were neck and neck during the whole game. And a few seconds before the end, I scored the ball and brought us victory. We won. It was incredible. I was afraid of becoming an outcast, but in the end, I was the heroine of the day. After the game, the coach from my old school came up to me. He was very impressed with my performance. I'm sorry I expelled you from the team. I shouldn't have listened to Courtney. She just envied you. Do you want to come back and become team captain again? Of course I agreed. Courtney turned green with anger, but all the other girls were very happy to see me back. Before leaving the boarding school, I came to the principal again. I told him that I had lied about Vicky and asked him to hire her back. After all, I had done the wrong thing and was very ashamed of it. He promised that he would call her that day. When I was leaving the dorm, Archie suddenly caught up to me. Listen, Joanna, we've both messed up a lot lately, but at the competition, I saw you in a new light. I was so wrong. I've realized that I only need you. Let's start over, okay? You seemed sure I would agree. A few days ago I would have, but now? Sorry, but no. I don't feel anything for you anymore. I'm sure that if someone has betrayed